When you're ready.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with me. This show is so good. And I love your character because there's so many layers that we have to go through. Right off the bat, we know that she's adopted. She's moved around. She's part of a military family. And she has this sense where things aren't right that we feel. She feels within herself that something is not right. And I was wondering, how was you able to connect yourself to the character from the very beginning? Because she's really popular, but deep down in the surface, there's some things that she's questioning about herself.
Yeah, I think when I first, like I'll go into the point of, talking about similarities between my character. When I first read the script with Miss Ava, I went and we had a conversation and I was just like, people that are so confident, not everyone, but people who are so confident with everyone, especially in high school, sometimes, not all the time, but have a certain desire to be a people pleaser. So, there's that. And then also like the reason why she idolizes Superman, and, he's good enough. Maybe she'll be good enough. So I think that what I loved was like up front, she feels so, confident and just like everyone loves her and she loves that everyone loves her. But I thought I was so excited when we got picked up because I can explore that within the series. And I made sure, there's a reason why she's so, of course, she's the third biggest Superman fan site in the world, but there's a reason why she's going after this so much and she won't give up. I think that it's something physically in it, but something also mentally in it she has to figure out. And I connected myself, to the character because, Naomi has such a great drive and passion, kind of like what I was saying before. And that drive, is one, because she loves Superman, but deep within her, someone tells her no, that doesn't mean she's going to stop. And also there's a reason why she wants to know so badly. So I kind of did that within myself because I see a great, passion for things I love and people that I love within myself and, never giving up.
Now, she moves around a lot, which means that she has a really great way of figuring people out. She has great people skills. She's on a debate team. But there's a part in the show, without any spoilers, that says sometimes she's the only Black kid in that town that she moves to. Do you feel that because she does not seem to have the sense of a place of belonging, that the person that we meet from the very beginning, the popular kid, the one who's always able to figure it out, is that a facade?
Very grateful for, I think Naomi's very grateful for Greg and Jennifer because they never made her feel like that. I haven't moved around a lot as Kaci, but I've talked to people in preparation for the role who have. When you're moving around, you have to have great people skills. Like it's a necessity. And also if you're moving around in a multiracial family and you're an adopted Black girl in places that don't usually have Black people, you have to have people skills. I think that it's not something that is, she's doing it as a facade. I think that it is true her, but I think under it, there is a certain insecurity, a certain feeling of like alienation and desire to not conform, but, just, maybe being herself, everyone will love her. Just having, people who have good people skills meet you where you are. And I think that, she can have a conversation with anyone. And that's because she's moved around so much.
Right. Now, we do know that she is a huge Superman fan. And then we do know by reading the comics with Naomi, who she really is and what she really becomes. Do you feel that that connection to Superman is something that she'll have that's stronger? Or do you feel that she's just coming into her own person? And now when she becomes who she becomes, without any spoilers, she's able to move away from that. And it's like, I love Superman, but let me find the inner superhero within myself.
Yeah, we do later in the series explore that and explore, everything that happened to her that day and how she feels about it because that day changed her life forever. I would say, she looks up to Superman and, throughout the series, we do touch on it, but, she has to find herself. And if you're constantly, doing something so much, something has to give.
Right. Now, Naomi is an investigator at her heart. At her core, I feel she's asking the question from day one, even when she was a kid. Why do you feel that now that she's kind of looking for her origin? Or do you feel that she's always been there looking for who she really is?
mean, as she's an adopted kid, but her parents don't know what happened to her parents, and she doesn't know what happened to her parents. So I think, and it's not a desire to necessarily know her parents because she loves the parents that she has. So I think, as people, we're all looking into our origin story. Some of us know, some of us don't. She doesn't know, but I think she's satisfied with that because she's been with her parents for so long. So I think that, when she finds out who she is, it makes her question a lot of things, and that's why the show is a superhero show. It's a coming of age story, but it's really a big origin story.
Right. What I love, it takes away the stereotypes. You have this incredibly smart girl. She's popular with everyone. She's not nerdy in the corner and people are bullying her. I feel like she stands up for other people as well. Can you talk about the change in that dynamic? Because usually we see the nerdy person with the glasses, but she's really in there. She has the friends, and we see from the beginning, she's popular with everyone, all groups.
Yeah, I think that, I loved that so much because although that narrative is so fun and I enjoy watching that narrative, like I've seen so many, superhero shows and movies with that narrative. I think that, what's so beautiful about Naomi, and I said this from the beginning, is that she doesn't need her powers to give her confidence. Her power is herself. So I think that's there's many different interesting turns that we take in the story that aren't necessarily the traditional terms, but I think that is really cool because it's genuine. I know so many girls like Naomi.
She has a great core of friends, is what I really love. Like Naomi supports them, and they support her. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship with the friends and how maybe when Naomi progresses in her journey, she'll lean more to them, or will she have to like be the power within, or find herself trying to separate herself from her friends?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, every relationship with her friends are different. Some people she's comfortable telling some people things, she's comfortable not telling some people things. I think that, as the series progresses, we really dig deep into that with the characters and with those relationships and friendships. And she grapples with that. She's a teenager, there's certain things that go through her head, but especially in the pilot, you see the core group of friends, and I think that what's so beautiful in the series is she grows within those friendships. Like, they've been friends for a while, but sometimes these circumstances bring them even closer.
Right. Now she has 3 different relationships that's going on, and I was like, girl, no, focus on school, leave them later. There's 3 different relationships. Do you feel that at the moment where Naomi is in her life, those relationships will help her or more distract her? Is this the right moment to really dive into relationships?
Well, I think that, before everything happens, then that is really her center. So you can't just like, I guess she can't. And, a lot of them, she says, a lot of them are her friends. She loves them because they're her friends first. So I feel as if her character wouldn't be like, no, obviously we can't be friends anymore. I've got other important stuff to do. Right. I think she's a teenager, and when you're a teenager, it's really crucial. Not crucial, but it's really a lot of people are allowed to experiment, and that's a time where you are experimenting because you're a teenager. So I don't think she also wants to turn that off. I also think like having her friends around her is a sense of normalcy, and she can gravitate towards that.
Can you say whether or not it gets complicated just in the terms of a regular teenager?
It gets complicated. It gets complicated. I'm excited for people to see it.
Okay. Now, we can touch upon a little bit, there's a team of mentorships. We're not going to say who, but there's some mentorships. Can you talk about the importance of Naomi having those mentors in her life and kind of what they would bring to her that she hasn't had previously?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that mentors are important. I've had mentors, and they give advice, but they also allow you to grow. It's not necessarily a teacher. They're mentors. They're mentoring you, they're lifting you. So I think that it is really important. You kind of you see throughout the pilot that this is Naomi before she has any mentors, and you see how much length she goes to get her answer without any mentors. I think that she is powerful, and of course she is smart, but she would be a little rocky if she didn't have these mentorships. They're so crucial to the story. So I think that they may not always have all the answers, but I think that they allow her to be smarter in her choices. with wisdom.
Right, with wisdom. Naomi is, she ends up being, we know, Black girl superhero. We need this representation. Yay, I'm so happy and so proud of what you brought to this TV and this show. Can you talk about just when you got the role, what was it like to know that this, yes, is a TV show, but there's so much representation and you're a superhero?
Yeah, I mean, it was dope. It was dope from when I got the audition. I was just like, this is really cool. When I got the role, I was sort of shocked. Not shocked, like I didn't think I would get it, just in like a state of shock. Like a month ago, I was sending in an audition for this, and now I'm here. And so I was in like a state of shock for like 3 days, honestly. Like I didn't sink in until I landed in Atlanta. So I think that, it's so beautiful because I'm able to, be this representation. And there's a lot of talk about representation, especially when you're talking about young Black girls. And, it's true because there's not a very big, group of young Black girls who are superheroes. It's true.
Right.
I think that the show puts it in perspective of like, it's grounded in reality. It's grounded in like normalcy,
Right.
It's true. It's a true story. Like true, of course, the circumstances aren't true, but like, there's deep down, there's talks about things within society, but it's truthful. Like there's not a forced message behind it. It puts a young 16-year-old Black girl to the forefront to tell this story. And I think that that's so beautiful.
This is an adaptation based on the comic book. Recently, this kind of came out. It's still new. I was wondering, through an adaptation, how are you as an actor is able to honor what's on the page, but also make Naomi your own?
Yeah, I grappled with that during the beginning. I have a really close friend, Lexi Underwood, who was in Little Fires Everywhere. And I talked to her really because she played a character book, not a comic book, but a character book to film, to TV. And we kind of talked about that. And I read the comic book, and there's things that I do physically that help me ground me into Naomi that are in the comic. And there's things that I do which I would be interested for anyone to ever pick up, but I, as Kaci, am satisfied knowing that I did those things. And then, I made a Venn diagram of my character in the comic versus the character in the pilot versus Kaci versus Naomi, because then I can, take those differences and take things that I love and things that I really feel like are on the page, and then also add things from the comic book. I think during the pilot, I was so like comic book. But as we go throughout the series, new material that isn't necessarily in the comic book, I'm able to stretch out and I'm able to make her my own. And I feel closer to her every episode.
When it came to the development of the character, what would you say that you added in that was just your own and not from the comics?
Ooh, I would say, she has a great feminine power. Miss Ava and I have talked about this. She, you see her in the comic, she's confident, but she's not necessarily popular in the comic. And I think that, she has this great deal of just like owning herself and owning who she is, and that sort of confidence you see, but in the comic, but it's really seen in the TV show.
How would you describe Naomi's perfect day before and after she knows who she is?
Okay, I would describe her perfect day before she knows who she is as waking up, having breakfast with her family, logging onto her site, driving herself to school, going to school, spending the day with Annabelle, eating lunch with Annabelle, and then going to debate club, and then going to all her later clubs and going to all her AP classes. And then I would also say she would then drive, her and Annabelle would go get some milkshakes, drive Annabelle home, drive herself home, walk to her skate park, go to the skate park, go back home, and then continue doing homework and post something on her site. And then I would say after, I would just say maybe a sense of normalcy. Maybe a desire for the day before.
Oh, do you feel that Naomi at any point will kind of regret finding out what her origin really is, who she came from?
I mean, I think when you research things, it's always a little scary because you don't know what you're going to find. So I think that, you know, certain things can make her, you know, ecstatic that she found, and certain things can't.
Right? Okay. And one last question. One word to describe Naomi, what would you say?
The show or the character?
The show.
Ooh. Compelling.
I like that. Thank you so much for speaking with me. I love the show.
Thank you. Thank you.